My history of CLG? Yeah, man. What do you want to know? I heard you were a CEO. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was CEO of Counterlogic Gaming for 2 years until we sold to Madison Square Garden. I mean, like 3 years. I ended up in that spot because I transferred. This is really bad. Like, I really want to drop something, but it's all worth so much. So I was at CLG for 3 years. Before that, I was at Dignitas, North America regional manager there. It's a long history. Like, I started off as a volunteer in esports because I wanted to help coach peak performance in players, and I did that. And then I was kind of like, I mean, like, I don't know. It's like a really long story. Like, it's one of those, like, I gotta draw my life things. Where are we? Is that the city? I don't think that's the city. It might be the city. It's not the city. Dude, I have no idea. That's the city. We're pretty far. But I just can't. I can't get rid of all my stuff, dude. It's too good. Let's see. So I've run businesses pretty much all my life. I started my first company when I was 16. After that, I did like a bunch of memes. I was a physical trainer for a while. I coached a lot of people in like nutrition and health, and I've always been like really obsessed with like self-improvement and like helping other people with self-improvement. So I've like probably done like I just like did like dozens and dozens of clients in that area, and then from there that like got me into like business and like doing that kind of stuff for business people. So I was a peak performance coach for executives and companies for a long time, like in mindset, nutrition, and like success-oriented stuff. Because I used to be like a gamer that played like video games like 16 hours a day. Surprise, I'm still that, I guess. But now it's different. Oh, wrong button. Okay. And I wanted to change my life, and so like I read up on how to do it, and like read like hundreds of self-development books. Like I think my library is like over 700. And kind of just learned this stuff and wanted to apply it across the board. So I got good at it, teaching other clients to do it, and got paid for that. And meanwhile, I was like running a couple of businesses. I had a marketing company. I had an IT company, which is kind of a meme. It was like me and like one other person. And then I had, let's see, marketing company, ebook company. That was the first company I ever started. And I got into esports because I loved video games, and I thought that like players at a competitive level in video games seem super cool to me because they have to utilize peak performance in the context of video games, right? Like everything matters, like their reaction time, everything from their reaction time to like how like mentally checked in they are, like everything like sort of factors into their success. And so I wanted to like explore that. And I didn't have any ends there, so I contacted teams, and somebody actually found my stream. A guy named Crumbs found my stream. He was the jungler for Team Dignitas and like saw what I did. And at the time, we were playing League of Legends full time. If you guys can imagine, playing League of Legends full time. That was what I did for years. I played League of Legends full time as a streamer. If you think that sounds awful, you're right. It was. And I would teach people about positivity through League of Legends because I was like, what is the most toxic game to play? Let's make a stream that's about like how to actually learn and like be better and be your best self, even in the face of like communities like League's community. That was literally my goal. And so I did that, and that was cool for a while. And then when Crumbs came to my stream, he was like, hey, like, why don't you... It was actually his girlfriend, Serena, that came to my stream, and then brought Crumbs to the stream. And then they came to the stream and were like, hey, this guy's like pretty cool. We like what he teaches. Do you... And I said, well, why don't I fly down to Los Angeles and I'll come teach you guys for free. Like, I don't particularly have anything I'm doing. And at first, I didn't even pay. I paid for my own plane flights and everything. I just like went down from Tahoe, and I would stay at the Dignitas house, which is like incredibly like I came in and I was like all dressed because I'm used to like doing clients at like professionals and like corporations and stuff like that, right? So like I come in all dressed up. I'm like all professional. I'm expecting to have like an agenda, like a prospectus, like we have like a good idea of what we're gonna do. And I come in on like Scara, Cutie Pie, and like Kiwi Kid like sitting there in their pajamas at like 2 p.m. like playing Hearthstone. And they're like, hey man. And I'm like, hey, is this, what are we doing? And it's like, I don't know, who are you? And they just like let me into the house, and like so from there, like I had to like learn how to be like in esports, I guess. And so like my very first night there, like I slept on the couch. I ended up sleeping on the couch for like weeks. And then yeah, like we went over that stuff. And then like from there, my previous business knowledge like kind of factored in at Dignitas. And so like Odie, who's like now like one of my really good friends, he's actually here in the stream yesterday. Was like, hey, dude, like, you know, why don't you like work? Why don't you run an A? You know, because like at the time, Dignitas had two sides. We had a team in EU, which was where we were based. We were based in London, and then we had a team in North America. And London was like some meme teams. We had like Trackmania, but we also had like a good CS:GO team and stuff. And then North America, we had other teams. So I took over running North America, and through the LCS, I met George, and George needed some help with the company. And I said, well, sure, I'll come by and I'll check it out. And at the time, Dignitas had actually like made me really jaded to esports, not because of Dignitas, but because I actually the same reason that I left CLG later. Well, I didn't like I really like left Madison Square Garden after we sold the company. It's a good time for a CEO to exit is after you sell. It's totally fine. A good reason that I left was because I was. I'm just very jaded with the scene in general. I really don't like a lot of what goes on in esports. I still don't. And so I was really jaded, and I didn't want to do another esports company. I didn't want to run CLG. And George was like, well, look, just like come to our house, like see what you think of it, and see what you think of me, and like if you want to do it, then like we'll talk later. We didn't really have an idea of like what we wanted to do, right? So I went to the house pretty convinced that I was going to say no. And then, of course, like I was like, well, this is awesome. Like George is like one of the most awesome human beings like ever to exist. And I just had so much respect for him and learned so much and knew I was going to learn so much from him. So I just joined CLG, and then like we talked about it, I was like, well, how would you want to join CLG? And I said, well, I'm gonna come in as CEO. Like that's the only I can't. It's the only gear I really have. We're finally here. It's the only gear that I really have. Like I'm not gonna. I can't impact the company in any meaningful way unless I actually come in as CEO. So that was we agreed on that, and then that's how I got into CLG. Well, it caught me at a good time because I'm literally running with so much freaking loot. Literally the opposite. I'm like opposite of Marie Kondo be like rolling over right now. So got into CLG, ran that for 3 years. And then we sold to Madison Square Garden. And then I was like, dude, I am so absolutely tired of like like just the attitude of business owners in esports. I just can't deal with it anymore. So I pieced out. I was like, I'm not. And I got like insane offers to go back into esports, like at sea level. Like actually, I got I can't say that, yeah. But I got really good offers, and you know, I just didn't take them. What I've always loved is the influencer side of things, and I love streaming. I mean, I've always loved streaming. I've been a streamer since 2011. I've worked with streamers. I ran many big streams as their managers. I was in Trick 2G's manager for a while. I was Night Blue's manager for a while. Like just really, really good stuff. Throughout all, finally, holy moly, we're here. Yeah, I love it. And so I've really grown up in that ecosystem and wanted to get back to it. Dude, I'm running these guys dry of money. It's crazy. We want to sell this too. Is that a good interviewing strategy? Demand to be CEO? I mean, you're memeing, but yeah. Like, well, okay. I'll say this, right? Like, it's the only gear that I have. I'm not going to go into a company unless I'm at sea level because it's the only way that I can impact the company. And I'm not going to go into a company where I can't make decisions. I just can't do that. Like if I go, I'm not going to go into Amazon and be like, all right, Jeff, get the fuck out of here, dude. You've always obviously messed up with this divorce thing. Right? Like we could do better. I'm coming in as CEO. Like I'm not going to do something like that. There's a limit to it, right? But for like most small businesses, I think that 99% of business owners don't know what the hell they're talking about, and that I can probably be a way better CEO in markets that I understand. Like if it's certainly like there's only if it's an influencer type market, any of these other talent agencies that are not Nerd Fusion, nobody is even close to the understanding that Sevidus and I have. Like there's no way. I think we're gonna take so much damage doing this. We're probably dead. Okay, no, we're not. Good stuff.